presenter, Dr. Rohini, couldn't continue because of less range. Now she's back with the presentation, so I think we can continue with Dr. Rohini's presentation. Dr. Rohini?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, 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 yes.
I think my
okay. Just a moment. Dr. Satyaprashant, please turn off your screen. Dr. Satyaprashant. Yeah, okay. Okay, doctor, please continue.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, it is visible. It is visible. Please continue.
Okay, sorry for the technical error that had happened. Again, with the geographical importance and vegetative diversities of the Palakkad Gap, an overview of it. So, as I have started earlier, knowing the region. So, Palakkad Gap is actually a gap, or it is a lower area in between the two two elevations. That is, it is an area in between two mountains. In the north, it is the Nilgiri Hills, and in the south, it is the Anaimalai Hills. In between the Western Ghats, there is a 20 miles of area with an elevation of 140 meters, which is the Palakkad Gap. So knowing about the history of it, actually the two noted French geologists, Yuri Gunnell and David Harbour from the Washington University, once did a comparative study on the geology of Madagascar and Western Ghats. And it had showed that the Western Ghats and Madagascar has been obliquely kept together and it stays together. In their research published in 2008, they found that the Angao entrapment, which is there in the Madagascar, geologically matches with the Western Ghats and the Ranodsara Gap that comes in line. It comes in line with the Palakkad Gap. So in the olden days, when the whole country was like the whole world was as one continent, before it got splitted up, the Madagascar or the Angao entrapment area of the Madagascar and the Western Ghats were in line together. It has been told that there was an underwater volcano eruption that had happened, which separated these two areas, which is now more than 5,000 miles away. And that is the reason why the Madagascar area or the Angao entrapment forest region is having the biodiversities or the flora and fauna, which is similar to that of the Indian flora and fauna than the African ones. Coming to the origin of the gap. See, the Palakkad gaps or the rocky areas of this area is having the stream-like in the rocks. It has been ruptured. It has been told that it has been ruptured and eroded by the tensional stress that has been created by the flow of a river. The Bharatapuzha, which is one of the biggest river in the Kerala side, had originated from the Palakkad Gap as rivulets and has got tributaries feeding the steep and escarpment slopes of the Western Ghats. And it is because of this tensional stress created by the river, it got ruptured and eroded, and the Palakkad Gap has got its beautiful scenic beauty. Coming to the climate of the area, the Palakkad Gap also plays a very critical role in the climate of the state, especially of that Palakkad Gap. This shapes the moderate climate of the Coimbatore and Palakkad regions and provide the notable rainfall of this region than the other parts of Tamil Nadu by allowing the moisture-laden monsoon winds to pass through this gap, and it got blocks by the Western Ghats over that area, and the rains come over there. That is the reason why the starting part of Tamil Nadu, which is the Coimbatore region, and also of the Palakkad, is having that southwest monsoon as good, which is the base of the Palakkad being the granary of Kerala. Coming to the vegetative biodiversities, I would like to introduce you some of the rare species of the plants which has been grown in the Palakkad Gap area. This is the first one, that is the Shailayam. which is known as the stone flower, Parmelia perlata, from the Parmeliaceae family. It is a type of lichen which is mostly grown in the hilly areas in between the rocks, tree trunks, etc. So this is a lichen. It's a small spreading, it spreads over a substratum. It's a small lichen thing that is being seen on the rocks and on the tree trunks. As the name shows, it is Shailayam. Shailayam means it is seen on the rocky surfaces or on the harder surfaces. It spreads irregularly over a substratum, which you can see on this picture. It is mostly seen on the Himalayas and the northeast India side. The outer covering of the plant is greenish color with white inside. It is greenish outside with whitish inside, and this greenish area will be slightly elevated from the substratum, not much more, but slightly elevated, and that white part will be kept sticking towards the substratum. Coming to the Raspanchakas, it is Tikta and Kashaya with Lakhu and Snigdha Guna, Shita Virya, Kattu Vipaga, and it is of Kapha Pitta Hara. So as you can see, it is of Shita Virya, Tikta Kashaya Rasa, and Lakhu Guna. It is being used in conditions like Sarvanga Daha, where there is a neurological complaints, and as part of rheumatic arthritis cases where the patient is having Sarvanga Daha or burning sensation all over the body or on the lower limbs. This drug is being made as a decoction and adding sugar to that as an additive. It is being given internally. The same thing can be used also in the Amlapitta gastritic type of conditions where there is ulcers inside the GI tract. It is also being used in the bleeding piles conditions as to stop the bleeding piles. Because of this Shita Virya and Snigdha Guna and Tikta Kashaya Rasa, it helps in coagulating the blood and also reduces the pile mass. It is also good in wounds and toxic conditions, fever, and in kidney diseases. In the wounds, it is made as a cold infusion and it is used for the dhara. Externally also it is used for the dhara purpose, which cleans the wound. Because of Tikta Kashaya Rasa, it is more of cleaning thing. It cleans the wound and helps in rejuvenating, like wound healing. This drug, the Shita Kashaya, again the cold infusion of this is used in the dyspepsia, like in the condition to treat the Trishna. The patient who is having a lot of Trishna, once this decoction is being given without any additives, that helps to reduce the Trishnatva of that patient. And the paste of this is applied externally for the headaches, and it is that studies has been found out that Shailaya is being used as a cardiotonic. Coming to the next one, it is the Mayura Shikha, Actinopterus australis, from the Actinopteraceae family. This is a fern. Again, the name shows how it is. As you can see in the picture, Mayura Shikha means it is as the feather of a peacock. It exactly looks like how a peacock has spread its wings. And it comes as a fern, and it needs, and it is mostly grown in the warm temperatures and and it needs high humidity to flourish. And this is mostly seen on the rock surfaces as what we have seen for the Shailaya. Again, this is seen on the rock surfaces. And the leaf is of oval, which resembles, as I told you, it resembles a feather of a peacock. This Mayura Shikha mostly grows on the black or the reddish gravelly soil, which is of an altitude of 1 to 1020 meters. And this shows what is the soil type of this Palakkadan Gap. The Palakkadan Gap is having a reddish gravelly soil, which makes it easier for the growth of this Mayura Shikha. Mayura Shikha is having a Madhura and Tikta Rasa with Kashaya Anubandha Rasa. Guna is Ruksha, which is dry and lakhu, dry and light. Again, it is having the Shita Virya, which is cold in nature, with the Kattu Vipaga, and it is Kabhupita Shamaga, which is similarly like that of Shailaya, but exactly, but this is having a Madhura as the Rasa. So the drug is indicated in the cough, bronchitis, and asthma. It is good in treating the diarrhea, dysentery, and dysuria. It is having the antihistaminic and anticholinergic activity. So as with this indications, you can know that it is good for the cough, bronchitis, asthma, diarrhea, and dysentery. This is having that antimicrobial activity. So this cough, bronchitis, and asthma seriously refers to the condition where the patient is having an allergic condition. So that is in an allergic cough, allergic bronchitis, or asthma type of conditions, this Mayura Shikha has been given internally, which helps to reduce these conditions because of its antimicrobial activity. Along with that, it is having antihistaminic and anticholinergic activity. So it is used even externally for the infected wounds. Again, the antimicrobial activity of the drug has been utilized for in any type of infected wounds or ulcers, and even in the conditions of erysipelas, this is used externally for the cleaning. And this drug, a recent study has been proved that the drug is good in treating the prameha, that is the hyperglycemia conditions, though it does not immediately reduces the blood sugar value, but in a due course, it helps to stabilize that glucose value in that, and it also reduces the difficulty in the micturition of the patient, indicated also in Atisara, where the Pitta Kapha Pradhana, Pradhana is there. And the drug is also being used as a folklore practice for the conception. Coming to the next drug, Yugma Bhallotama, which is the Caralluma. Caralluma is nowadays a very widely used one for the treatment of obesity. So Caralluma, it is a succulent type of plant. It's a cactus variety. Caralluma fimbriata. It's a succulent plant of cactus family, has been used as a natural appetite suppressant since many years. So this is the drug. Once you have taken this, reduces the hunger. Thereby, you can treat the obesity. Caralluma, which comes as a small shrub with basally trailing, then upright, much branched succulent stem, is usually 30 to 60 centimeter tall. It is used in many of the patent medicines nowadays for the purpose of treating the obesity. The rasa of this is usually Pitta rasa. But the funny fact of this is, if you are plucking the Caralluma without talking near to that, if you're going silently and plucking it and taking it, it will not taste that much bitter. You'll not feel that bitter taste or the Pitta rasa of the drug. So while collecting the Caralluma, always keep in mind to reduce, to be in a silent. Coming to the next, this is false water willow, Andrographis echiodes, which is known as, it is an erect villous plant. This is mostly used, we'll not see much of the references in the Ayurvedic portions, but this is mostly used by the Siddha doctors in the Siddha science. The plant is widely used in the Siddha stream of medicines for the treatment of Jvara. And externally, this whole plant is being used as a paste and is applied over the snakebite area or any insect sting area, and it is highly useful in those areas. So it is a medicine used in treating the dysmenorrhea and leukorrhea also. The paste is swollen. The paste of this is made into a bolus without adding any of the water to this, and it is being swallowed in cases of tonsillitis. So next comes the Shweta Musli. The Shweta Musli is one of the rare plant. You can see the musli everywhere, but the Shweta Musli, the exact Shweta Musli, is somewhat a rare species. Chlorophytum borevillianum of Asparagaceae family. The rhizome is its useful part. It is having the Madhura Tikta Rasa with Guru and Snigdha Guna. Again, it is of a Shita Virya, Madhura Vipaga, and Vata Pitta Shamaga. Along with that, the more fact is that it increases the kapha in the body. So it is Kapha Vardhaga and Vata Pitta Shamaga. So the drug, as you all know, it's an aphrodisiac and increases the libido, nourishes the body, and good in treating the muscular dystrophy. It is used in conditions where of leukorrhea, diarrhea, and hematuria, and also used in conditions of increasing the breast milk production. So coming to the conclusion, the park has been considered as one of the important geological area. Ample rainfall and the wind, and soil is mostly gravelly soil, which shows the Agneya property of it. So as we have conducted an extensive survey on this region, it showed that Acanthaceae, Amaranthacea, and Fabaceae family are common ones on this area, with the Shweta Keraluma, and these are the rare species found on this. Some of the species is found on this area. So proper identification of these rare species for the preservation and for further research on these. As we all know, the drugs grown in its own habitat are more potent compared to those in others. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your abundant knowledge. Thank you so much.